pick for best football game,
Yeah.
maybe it'll solve all our disputes about Aussie rules, rugby, soccer, football, American football. It's Jerry Glanville's Pigskin Footbrawl. This is like an imaginary early proto version of football, and you can actually see that this is like how they used to play it. It's I think as you pointed out, it's like a sort of Asterix obelisk kind of that sort of imaginary historical time period that you can't quite place, like Viking kind of thing,
and that kind of animation too.
And you're just running.
Comic-y.
It's absolute chaos. The ball just goes loose, someone picks it up, and you're on one vague team trying to carry it across to the right, but there's real world obstacles like trees and ponds, and you just end up dropping the ball, someone will bash you. But yeah, all football games can kind of take their historical context from this game, because I think it's historically accurate. They're the kind of weird.
I did a bit of research, and the original football back in, I don't know, whatever time in history was. There was a goal at one side of a village, and then like a mile down the road there was another goal, and you would just have to get the ball with however you could from one end to the other.
Or by crook.
And that is exactly the flavour of this game. It's more like rugby, but then that early football is, early soccer is like that, and it's actually, Jerry Glanville is not a historian. He's just a licensed American football player, isn't he? So, but it was a lot of fun. I'd love to play that 2-player with like two. Rather than playing against a computer, it'd be quite fun. It'd be totally chaos, especially if you could. I wonder if it's a multi-tap game.
Multi-tap would just be extreme chaos.
It's totally crazy because you grab the ball. It's really slapstick. You grab the ball and you whack into a tree and the ball hoofs off, or someone's chasing. You really have to see it to believe it. It's not a football game or sports game as you know it, but it's actually got the playability that sometimes. All of these sports games, or the majority of them, they're usually a bit lacking now when we revisit them from one way or another. Whereas it's certainly got the playability, and that arcade feel that I suppose we favour.
And it's quite sad, really, that the FIFA games, the Madden games, they had this like yearly revision that they got to fine tune it a bit. And I think that this game would have benefited from another revision or two, because it's a little bit fiddly to control. It doesn't quite feel like you're able to take kind of control of what you're doing that well. And
I doubt you could ever master it.
Yeah, and maybe a revision or two down the line, it would have really nailed what it was going for. But that's my one sort of flaw with what was otherwise a lot of fun.
That's definitely a hidden gem to check out, though, isn't it?